Hello everyone and welcome to the Student Spotlight, your go-to podcast for meaningful conversation and deep insights on life of students studying abroad. I'm Parin Shah and I'm excited to embark on this journey with you. We'll delve into the conversations that's sure to leave you thinking. In today's episode, we're joined by Bhumika, originally from Lucknow but raised in Gambia. She relocated to the UK to pursue her A-levels in Cambridge and is currently studying for a bachelor's degree in chemistry with business management as a major at the University of Birmingham. Tune in as she discusses her decision to choose this university and explains how studying chemistry will open doors to her future.
So when I finished my GCSEs in Gambia, the education in Gambia is not very good. So it's kind of a ritual over there that people normally send their children outside. So my parents just decided that, okay, we have to send her outside if we want her to study forward. So we started looking at schools and I went to St. Mary's, Cambridge.
Oh, nice.
And that school really caught our eye. I loved it. My parents loved it. So we went forward with the process and I got the admission in the school. So I moved there, I did my A-levels, I did biology, chemistry and maths. After I finished that, I applied for chemistry because that was the thing I really enjoyed doing the most. So I applied for chemistry courses around the universities around the UK and I got into Birmingham.
Sorry, what all universities did you apply to and where all you got accepted?
So I got accepted in every university that I applied to. I applied to Bath, University of East Anglia, Southampton, Lancaster and Queen Mary University. So I didn't initially apply to Birmingham, but when you submit your UCAS, you have 2 weeks to kind of change your university choices. And that's when I swapped Lancaster for Birmingham.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So what was your scores in your A-levels?
So I got 3 A's for my A-levels.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you mentioned you studied in Gambia, right? So you studied your 10th, which is GCSEs there.
Yeah.
Was that like a British school there or?
It was.
What curriculum did they follow?
We did the British curriculum.
Okay.
So it's it's international GCSEs, which is a little different.
IGCSEs, yes.
But we do follow the British curriculum over there.
Okay,
Yeah.
right. And what were your grades there?
So I got a distinction. So distinction is basically 5 A's or A stars. So I got that.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice. So what made you choose Birmingham over other universities?
Gambia is the smallest country in Africa. So it was very small. It was basically, it didn't really have a lot of exposure. Then I moved to Cambridge. Cambridge was again a small place. So I just wanted to know how it is living in a bigger city.
Right.
So that was why I swapped Lancaster with Birmingham.
Okay.
And I remember before I made this change, I had a meeting with my head of boarding in Cambridge and she was from Lancaster.
Okay.
So the meeting was just like a regular checkup because it was during COVID, so they were doing this with every student. And when I told her Lancaster was actually my firm at that time. It was the university that I really wanted to go to. And then she's like, oh, I'm from Lancaster. Do you want to know a little bit about it? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And so she's like, yeah, it's smaller than Cambridge. So I told her, hold on, can you give me 10 minutes, I'll be back. So that's when I kind of swapped Lancaster with Birmingham.
Okay. So how's your experience been at the uni? It's a fantastic campus, right? Probably it's bigger, one of the biggest university in terms of campus. So how's your experience here? Do you live on campus or?
I live in the city.
Okay.
So I take the train to come in. And I think being here, these have been the best 3 years of my life.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever enjoyed being anywhere as much as I enjoy being on campus and in Birmingham.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice. Now, tell us more about your course. It's quite interesting to hear you're studying chemistry with business.
Yeah.
Traditional courses, I mean, most of the Indian students I meet, usually I've never seen international students getting into such, courses.
Yeah.
So if you can throw some light on what is there in the course and why did you choose chemistry and business as a combination?
So chemistry and business my major is chemistry. So if you're doing your undergrad in the UK, you have to do 120 credits each year.
Okay.
So chemistry is 80 credits and business management is 40 credits. So I just have one module of business management per semester, and the other part of it is chemistry.
Okay.
Yeah. And why I chose this course? So both of my parents are into business.
Okay.
So they were like, okay, we want you to do business management at uni. I don't know if I should say this, but I think that's cliche.
Right.
So, and I really enjoyed chemistry all since my GCSE days. So I was like, I cannot leave that. Although I really wanted to do what they want me to do, but I still love chemistry, and I was not really ready to leave it at that stage.
Right.
So when I came across this course where they were doing chemistry with business management, I just thought that's where both me and my parents meet in the middle. So I'm still doing business management because they want me to do that, and I'm doing chemistry what I want to do. So it's kind of like,
Right.
it's the perfect blend of what I want and what they want from me.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's nice. So after studying chemistry, what kind of roles do you think you will be getting, or what kind of roles would you be applying in your domain?
I think the UK is very big on transferable skills.
I agree to that.
Yeah. So I think because I come with chemistry is one of the hardest majors to pursue. So when I send in my application and it says, I have done chemistry as an undergraduate degree and at UOB. So UOB is big on chemistry.
It is.
So it just makes me look more desirable, and chemistry has a lot of maths. So that's a lot of analytic skills, problem solving, critical thinking. So I get all of that from that, and business obviously has a lot of communication and also problem solving as well. So I think when you put these skills on your CV, it just becomes more desirable than doing humanities or business.
I get it. Okay,
Yeah.
That's nice. Tell me about your school. You went to a boarding school. How was the experience then? We don't get too many students from India
Yeah.
going to UK boardings. Usually students tend to start at undergraduate level, right? So you must have been very young, right? 15 when you started boarding. So how's the experience? What's the life in boarding like?
I went to an all-girls boarding school in Cambridge, so it was very different.
Mm-hmm.
Before moving to Cambridge, I had never lived alone. I had never lived one day without my parents. So it was very difficult when I first moved in. So my school was a day school and a boarding school together. So they had a lot of people from internationals, but they also had a lot of
Locals.
It was very nice that way because I kind of got to interact with British people as well as internationals, which I really enjoyed. So they were also very, it wasn't very strict. So they were not kind of watching you the entire time. So you had the freedom to go out on weekends, and you just had to kind of tell them where you're going, and if they call you, you just had to answer the phone. But they were very nice in that way. So the school was like a 10-minute walk from boarding.
Okay.
You were allowed to do that by yourself.
Okay.
It was like living at home, but your home was like with your friends.
So did you all have a separate routine? You had any extracurriculars through the boarding or the school that you could do in the weekends or otherwise?
Normal school day would be we would start at 7 o'clock and we'd have breakfast. So all the physical activities and the fun activities would happen at school.
Okay.
So we had a sports ground, and they did, I think they had a basketball court, but there was a sports club very close to the school.
Yeah. Okay.
So they had a partnership with that sports club, and that's where they kind of did most of the outdoor activities.
Okay.
And during weekends, they had socials. So sometimes they would bring in a dance teacher, so you could kind of have that time together. We had one of the wardens at the boarding house who used to be a sports ward. So she was responsible of doing sports events. So some days she would do yoga, some days she would do running. So Saturday, Sunday, we used to have one activity each day.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Depending on
That's
the
nice.
schedule.
And how was the transitioning from your IGCSE curriculum at your school to
Yeah.
the curriculum here? Was it smooth or was it too much to take? Especially again, you would have British students as well studying with you.
Yeah.
So was that easy? Was it a lot of learning? Was it a lot of efforts you had to put in to cope up with others?
There is a very big difference about how we are taught in Gambia, in Africa in general, than how we are taught in the UK. Over here, we're given a lot of independence on how we want to schedule our study sessions and how do we want to study and how we want to process our information. It was not the same in Gambia, so we were spoon-fed everything. So if it was one topic, they would teach you that in class, and you normally had like extra help from your tutors, so they would come to your house or they would have tuitions and you could go to them. So that was not something that was over here.
Okay.
So it took me a lot of time to understand how to handle my independence.
Right.
Because your teachers were only available to you for a certain amount of time.
Correct.
So you had to
A lot of self-learn, a lot of self-discipline, organizing yourself in order if you want to be ahead in the race and be there to what is expected.
It's also a big jump. So GCSEs is not that difficult, but when you get to A levels, the course is in a good depth, and you only have a year and a half if you kind of take the summer vacation away to get through it, and it's difficult. So it took a lot of time for me to kind of understand how I want to study this and how to go through it.
Right. Yeah, which is nice. So see, if you were to go back in time, go back 3 years or 5 years and change anything, relive the life, what would you have changed? It could be your university, your course, your boarding life, any choices that you think you would have made changes to.
Usually when I'm with my friends, I make fun about why chemistry? And I don't know what got into my head that I chose chemistry. But if I look at it, I don't think I would have been able to study anything else than chemistry. But one thing that I really want to change is that I should have made good use of the fact that I moved here at a very young age.
Yeah.
And I think I did not do that. So
like what? Like how?
So you can do like sandwich years where you can work in the industry and you can do internships, and you can kind of, you can make your connections with people in the industry. So, you have someone to guide you, because when you come to uni, you have come with the purpose of studying over here. But if you have like people who can guide you after you finish, that would be very nice. But when I moved in, COVID broke out. So
that was a phase.
That was a phase, and by the time I was able to recover from that, it just got to a point that, I was already at uni studying chemistry. So maybe
So you would have changed your course, or you would have?
I would have changed the fact that I did not make good use of the opportunities that came to me.
Right.
I did not do enough research on what I can do staying over here.
Right.
So if I could tell something to little Bhumika, that would be, please do your research. Please apply for things that come your way, and just don't let them go away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So what are your future plans now? I mean, considering you're in your final year, you're going to apply masters or looking for jobs?
I want to do a master's, but I'm still figuring out what I want to do a master's in. I've been fascinated by the idea of management consulting.
Okay.
So I did an internship where I acted as a management consultant, and I really enjoyed that.
Enjoyed it, okay.
So I want to go forward with that, but I'm not really sure how to go about it. So what my plans are for now is that I'm just going to take next year off and figure out how to do that. And if it doesn't work out, then maybe do a master's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. All right, it was great talking to you, and especially understanding how things, work out when you come at a very young age.
Yeah.
and the whole boarding life phase. Did you enjoy that phase, the boarding school you were in and the experience that they gave you?
When I was living it, I didn't.
Okay,
But now that I think about it, not a lot of people get that opportunity.
correct.
It doesn't happen to everybody. So I'm one of those few people who kind of went to a boarding school in a different country.
Yeah.
So now that I look at it, I think it was amazing.
Okay.
I think about how I used to sit with my friends for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We did our homeworks together and stuff. So that was really fun.
And learning wise as well was
Yeah.
a good experience.
It kind of set the grounds for me for uni, because it's very similar to the way schooling in the UK is very similar to the way they teach at uni. So it kind of set the ground and kind of taught you that, okay, this is how you're supposed to teach yourself the content. So coming to uni was not a very big,
It was a smooth transition.
Yeah.
Had you gone from A levels back in your country to uni year one, that compared to that, this would have been a smooth transition then.
Yeah.
Okay, nice, good to know. Thank you, Bhumika, for
No problem.
chatting with us. Thank you, guys. I hope you all got some good insights from her and her journey. Thank you very much to be
No
on here.
problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Student Spotlight. We hope you found today's discussion valuable. If you liked what you heard, be sure to subscribe and share it with your friends. We'll be back soon with some more stories and insights. Until then, continue learning and growing. See you in the next episode.